Hi, my name is Jen Melanson. I'm the Community Services Coordinator for the town of Chelmsford. And today I'm joined by Jerry Caruso, comedian and motivational speaker. Jerry and I met a couple of months ago. Geez, Jerry, it seems like it was forever ago, right? And it was only
That's
on
amazing.
Valentine's Day, February
Wow.
14th,
Whoa.
Jerry and his colleague, Paul, who we're hoping will join us later on during this interview, came in and did a show at the senior center with a group, a chronic disease support group, and it was a great time, and
They were
um,
feisty.
they really were, weren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it
were.
was a great crowd, and you and Paul did a really terrific job with them, and I think they were a little bit of a challenging crowd, and you guys handled them great, and so I wanted to bring you back, Jerry, and chat with you. You do some motivational speaking around how laughter is the best medicine. And so I was hoping that maybe you could offer some tips for our residents about coping with this current pandemic crisis using comedy and laughter. So, Jerry, why don't you give us a little idea of sort of what you're all about?
What I'm all about, people still can't figure that one out. Yeah, I'm all about like integrating comedy in different situations, uh, different groups. As much as I like doing comedy shows, period, I love doing churches, support groups, and civic groups like Rotary clubs. And it's kind of, excuse me, kind of interesting because the integrated comedy is the greatest thing in the world because it gets people's minds off of what's going on in the world. I keep telling people, stop watching the news.
Yeah.
You're going to get so much information. You're going to get 24 hours worth of information in like 1 hour, and you're going to go crazy
Yeah.
trying to figure out what's right, what's wrong, what am I doing wrong? Gee, I feel a sniffle, something's wrong. Oh my God, go get toilet paper. We can't because it's all gone, Get a paper towel. I don't know where they are. I mean, it's just crazy.
It is
So what I
crazy.
try to do, I try to deliver a message to people. Um, the big part of the message is to laugh at yourself, laugh at what you do, laugh at things that you say, funny things do you say, funny things that both of you say. I mean, you know, look at how we do it now. Like everybody's quarantined now. How many are in your house now? Is it just how many you?
Yeah, we became empty nesters this fall. Our youngest went off to college,
Ours
and
too.
my husband and I, we were really sad for like 6 days. And
Mm.
then we got over it really quickly. And so we've been living the good life for months. And now not only is that one back from college, but his older brother, who's a senior and graduating this year, is
Oh
back too.
no.
So, we've gone from being empty nesters to now we have two grown men back living with us.
Oh my
Our
God.
grocery bill has, tripled. And particularly the older boy who's the senior is really struggling with things, and you know not going to have a
I
graduation,
know.
trying to look for a job, and the market is so difficult right now, and unsettled, and so who knows what's going to
Absolutely.
happen with him. So it's we are a family that laughs a lot and we joke a lot.
Mm.
um, Comedy is kind of my coping mechanism, sometimes inappropriately, but definitely there are times when we're feeling weighed down by everything.
Yeah, because with all this going on, and like we'll watch something. We're big Fox watchers anyway, but we'll watch Fox, and I'll say, let's just change it. Let's put on something mindless like King of Queens or Two and a Half Men or Seinfeld, just something to get your mind off of it because you have to do that.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
have to laugh at our adventures. When you go shopping and food shopping, and I know they separate people by 6 feet. Once those people get in the door, 6 feet, they forget what 6 feet is.
They sure do.
The ladies are cut in front of me, grabbing stuff, and I just look at them, and my wife goes, "I know," or you're lining up at the register. There's tape on the floor. People looking at the tape, they're walking over it. I go, "Wait, that means you stand behind the tape."
Yeah.
There's a sign that says, "Stand behind the tape, please," but nobody's doing it. And
Yeah.
then I feel bad for the guys stocking everything. Someone comes with paper. They're like locusts. They're all, oh my God, paper. And it's like, I mean, wait a minute. I was here first. But it's just crazy. And so you have to be able to laugh at that. People wearing masks now. I like how people get creative now. Did you hear about that girl that had that mask that had a body part of a man that we can't
I
say? And did you hear?
I did see that picture.
And and her point was, if you could see what, and they were very small.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
And I'm not saying they were Irish, but I'm saying they were very small. Uh, that's a bad joke. Poor Irish people. Good thing they like me. And she says, if you could see what they are, then you're way too close to me.
Yeah.
And that's true. But then she raised over $50,000 for a charity because people are ordering the masks.
Oh, that's great. I didn't see that part of it.
Yeah, I don't know if she's given it to a COVID-19 foundation or something like that, but she's raising money. And she says, I can't keep all this money. And so she's raising it. And that's a great story. So it's like, I mean, you look at something humorous like that. I mean, like I said, and I like when they say you wear a mask, it teaches you not to touch your face. What, are you kidding me? You touch your face even more because you're itchy and whatever. Like, what's this thing around me? Then I scared people at the bank. I walk in, I go, no, I'm going to get money. That's it. So I try to use that laughing at yourself and laughing at life just to get by because I enjoy talking to support groups. When I talk to support groups, it's a wonderful thing because they all enjoy it. And the best examples when Paul do Hope Lodge in Boston for cancer patients.
Yeah.
And they come up to us afterwards, like Paul do 10, 15 minutes and I'll do like 45 to an hour. And they come up afterwards saying like, I really needed this. And I needed to get my mind off of what I'm going through. And these people going through chemotherapy and radiation treatments. And it's just like, it makes you feel good here. Like if you see my heart, it makes you feel good there. And Paul's the same way. And if we're going home together, we're just talking about how great an experience that it was and how we know we've helped people out. And it's just a great thing. But so when I talk to support groups, it's just a great thing. And they start joking with me, which is a good thing.
Right.
I'm triggering them to use their humor.
Yeah. And you're sort of naturally, at least from what I can tell, a giving person anyway. You've been doing some of this charity work with cancer patients and stuff for a really long time. Have you found that with this current pandemic crisis that it's sort of made you want to give more? Like, I have to say that, in my line of work, so what I do for Chelmsford is I connect residents who are in need of services with those services. And sometimes when there aren't services available, then I work to create services. And I have to say that I have been so uplifted by the community I work in, because for as many people as are contacting me needing help, there are just as many people contacting me wanting to offer help.
Wow.
It almost feels like Christmas again, right? Like everybody wants to give to charities at Christmas time because that's the giving season. And, and then once Christmas is over, everybody goes back to their normal lives, and January and February are just dreary months. And
funny you say that.
Nobody wants to give and nobody wants to donate, but all of a sudden everybody wants to donate and everybody wants to give. And it's just so wonderful. So I don't know if you're seeing some of that kind of stuff too. And
yeah, I do. And plus I see people trying to reach out to me saying like, we still want to do something after this is all over. And we're raising money. Like I already have 2 virtual comedy shows where I'm headlining both of them. And one of them's for a group called The Way Home. And it's like a homeless shelter in Manchester, New Hampshire, which big city, so it must be huge. I did something for them before, and it was a blast. I just did it for their staff. And my friend Bianca called me and said, will you do it again? We want you to be one of the main acts. I said, oh, God, definitely. And I'll be doing that this Friday night. And then May 7th, I'm doing something for Easter Seals, Maine, but it's tying in with veterans. I don't know how Easter Seals ties in with veterans, but I'm not going to argue because I don't mind helping out veterans. I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm headlining a show with 2 other guys, one guy from Maine and another veteran comic, Bob Sheehy, and Danny Bullis is the other guy. But they're all excited. They already get people who want to sign up and watch it, and they're going to make donations. And the same thing's going to go for The Way Home. That other show is May 7th, but I'm trying to accumulate those because it helps keep me sane.
Yeah, that's great. And that's a great way, when you can't go to a venue and perform live in person in front of people, to be able to, kind of kind of flip it and make it a virtual type of thing. So I mentioned that my family, kind of is naturally, we laugh a lot, and we have a lot of fun, and we play a lot of jokes on each other. But how do you, what advice would you have for a family that's maybe not quite so in that way, and they're really, really struggling at home right now?
Try to find, try to find an outlet, whether it be a game, whether it be a card game, whether it be a board game, whether it be trivia, whether it be just talking about funny things that happened. You have to be able to do that, just to, even if you're not naturally funny, something funny is going to come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you try to focus your energies on that, like, we'll play Scrabble, and I say, that's not a word. And she goes, my lovely wife goes, yes, it is. I go, open up the dictionary. It's not there. It's not there. And we laugh, But it's like, no, isn't that how you spell it? I go, yes, how you spell it. I'm going to ask Siri. I go, you don't believe Merriam or Webster? You believe Siri? What? Are you serious? But I mean, it's just stuff like that. But so once you do that, like, you look at a game like Monopoly, it's forever. It's like, it goes on and on. You do life. It's the same thing. You do all these games. So they take up time, and they spark conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and some funny things come out of it. So that's a good thing. Cards is the same. My blackjack, and oh my God, we should be in Vegas when one of us is winning. I go, yeah, it's two of us, 50%. One of us is going to be winning, but it's fun. And so if you're able to do that, and whether it's trying to, like, people say, well, I'm going to rent the movie. And what do you think people say? I'm going to rent that movie Pandemic. I go, why would you do that? You're going through this stuff. Oh my God, this could happen too. I go, no, don't do it. Rent a comedy. Rent a mindless comedy. Anchorman, Austin Powers. I mean, I give you 1,000 movies. I think ahead of that, I'd line them all up.
So I got to tell you that my husband and I, over the weekend, we were looking for something new to watch. And I don't watch a lot of TV because I don't have a lot of time. I'm in grad school. And so between my job and between being in grad school, I just don't have a lot of free time. But I kind of stepped away from everything this weekend and took some time off. So we were looking for something to watch. And so my husband had heard about this new masterpiece theater series on PBS called World on Fire. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's about World War II, and I have a sort of morbid fascination with World War II for some reason. And so we started watching it, and so the thing is that it's not funny, and it's not uplifting at all. Like it's like the worst aspects of World War II. It's just horrible. And every night we're watching a couple of episodes, and I'm sitting there thinking, why am I watching this? Like, it's so depressing. I don't feel good about myself going to bed. But I do have to say, the one thing about it is, and this is where I kind of, think it's sort of ironically funny, is that if nothing else, it is showing me that things could be really a whole lot worse, than they are right now.
Jeez, I know.
So I don't know that I necessarily recommend that families sit down and watch this series together. But I think the main point that you're bringing about is, using distraction to kind of get yourself out of the news, and, get your face out of social media, and also using that to connect with the people around you. I have a real dislike for the term social distancing, because social distancing is not what we need right now. We need physical distancing.
Right.
We need social connection more than anything. And I think the things that you're talking about, really bring people together, bring families together outside of, the COVID pandemic and the crisis and all of that, and allow people to connect with one another in a way that we really haven't done in a very long time, right?
Yeah, and that's what I don't say I like about it, but it's like I'm hearing from people, my buddy and his wife from Pennsylvania, my friends from Florida. I mean, even though it's how you doing, it extends into other things, and then against the funny things that are going on, and it just builds up, and it's a nice thing. I mean, not that people are calling me and saying, like, that's the last time we're going to be talking to you. It's like, no, it's not the last time. It's like, but it just, people reach out that way. So that's a good thing too. I mean,
Right.
beside the fact of family, like my brother, I love my brother. He's a year older than me, but he's always like, he's a serious one. Go figure, huh? And he'll like say, you got everything? You're all set? You need anything? You make sure you go shopping. You're watching your stocks. I go, hey, I'm okay. Don't worry about it. I'm fine, you know. But it's kind of cool because sometimes I don't hear from him for a while, or he'll call my sister, and she's younger than me, and she'll call me. Yeah, Bob told me to give you a call. I go, he can call me too. She goes, no, he just want to make sure we're all connected and stuff like that. But it's a good thing, you know. So there's all these good things that come out of it. And you're right, social distancing, and that new normal stupid thing. It's like there's no new normal. It's just we have to make adjustments. That's all. And I hate saying, I hate to bring back a sad time, but this reminds me a little bit of 9/11. When 9/11 happened, we were like, oh my God. You know, I'm afraid to go on a plane. I don't want to go in a tall building. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I'm going to stay at home, you know, and it's like, you know, who are these people walking out of the neighborhood? I go, those are new neighbors. Don't worry about it. But it's like, you know, so it taught us to be more secure and more aware and more cognizant of what's around us, and taught us to be, you know, more vigilant. And that's a good thing. Hopefully this can teach us, I hate to say it, and I'm not saying you, not saying me, not saying my family, but hygiene. Some people don't practice it. I mean, you know, I was thinking to myself, I think it's better to hug a person than shake their hands, because it's stupid as some people go, oh no, don't be hugging people. I go, I'm Italian. I can't stop that, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like tying my hands. I'd be a mute, you know, like I couldn't even talk. But I mean, I think hopefully it teaches us that, but it also teaches us to be, I think it's bringing up a lot of, like you say, interaction between people. Zoom is good. FaceTime is good. The phone's good. You know, anything's good just so people could communicate. And it's a good thing. Although there's some people I don't want to hear from, but that's okay. They're right. I don't mind. But I think it's a good thing. And what you do and what I do and what Paul does and what so many of us do, hopefully can help people out to get through these tough times. But I think there's always good behind it. And I also think it's a spark for being more religious and spiritual. I don't know how you are, but I see it in a lot of people, and that's a good thing. I mean, I'd rather have that than, you're right, don't go on social media, Facebook. Oh my God, you know, all these stats coming out. I don't need that. I want that. I watch news.
I think social media is good for some things, like, you know, connecting to people. I use social media a lot in my job.
Me too.
It's a great way for me to get, you know, get the word out to residents about programs that I'm running and donation drives that I'm running and things like that. But yeah, I mean, there's a point where you reach a saturation level with it. And you do have to, you know, step away from it, and because otherwise, you know, you can go down rabbit holes and get into arguments with people that just really aren't necessary, you know. But I'm wondering, Jerry, if you have any sort of funny quarantine story or anything like that since you've been home with it's just you and your wife at home, or do you have
and the cat too. The cat
and the cat.
Sure.
Yeah. Is the cat like, when are you going?
No,
Like,
he's
out.
happy when we're home.
Is he really?
He's like sprawled out and like, oh my God, this is great. They're gonna be feeding me. We have supper. He's near the table. He wants more. I swear he's an Italian cat. He eats anything. But you know, it's all good. But you know, the funny story is, like, my wife works in a hospital. She's afraid to get too close. She goes, you know, we're gonna keep our distance. I go, what do we do in the same bed then? I mean, we're not that. There's no 6 feet there. I go, you know.
Right.
There's only so much room there, but you know, some of the funny things is when, people ask me, how do you keep the romance going? I go, well, sometimes I buy little gifts. Like one day was a roll of toilet paper, and the next day was paper towels, and the next day was sanitizer, like, and then Clorox wipes. Oh my God, she thought she hit the lottery. And then I planned a romantic night, and instead of rose petals, I couldn't go out and get them because I couldn't get them, so I just took little 4-ply toilet paper and lined it all around. It was really cute. She thought it was nice. She goes, "You're romantic." She goes, "I'm going to call you Scott." No, I'm kidding. She didn't say that.
4-ply, that's the good stuff.
That is.
Yeah, it's really, really.
It made me feel brawny. No. Terrible puns.
It does make me wonder, like, what did people do before? why are they buying so much toilet paper? Were they just not using it before? I mean, and the same thing with the sanitizer. Like, so I think, my son and I have a rare autoimmune disease and immunodeficiency disorders. And so we always have sanitizer. We're always washing our hands. We even have masks, long before they were popular and all that kind of stuff,
right.
But it makes me wonder, like, what were people doing before they discovered that soap and toilet paper existed? And so I think you're right that hugging is maybe, almost a little bit safer.
It is. It is. I mean, and people used to laugh at me because I got sanitizer at work. I got, soap. I got alcohol wipes, and they'll see me clean my desk or tables or desk, whatever you call. Like every day, they go, "Wow, were you a fanatic?" I go, now you say that. Now look at me.
Yeah.
And they left me in the office, and they're all gone. So it's like they go, But it's like I've always been like that. I've always been a clean freak, and everybody goes, "You're not like Howie Mandel." I go, "Pretty close." You see the balancing act that I do when I'm in a public restroom because I'm trying to throw the paper away and grab the door with my foot and then put paper towels on my hand and grab the handle because I don't want to grab it again. But I've always liked that. And everybody goes, "Oh, it's been recent." I go, "What are you kidding me? It's since I've been not born, but since I've been a kid. I've always been clean like that."
Yeah, and you make the comparison to 9/11 and how some things have changed for the better for us as far as like increased security and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it does make me wonder if people will be more conscious of that sort of thing. I know even for myself, it makes me think twice about, I go to Boston frequently for treatments. And because I live 90 minutes outside the city, I often would park and take public transportation in, and it almost makes me think twice about doing that. I'm not quite sure I want to sit on a germy train and,
You're right.
in an enclosed space with a bunch of people and, that sort of thing. So I wonder what kind of changes that will be longer lasting might be, coming down the pike for us because of this.
Well, look at it like this. When 9/11 happened, then the TSAs pop up, and there are so many. The only thing I could think of is TSAs would be sanitizing everything. No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
it'll be like the Toilet Paper Safety Administration, right?
Oh, yeah. TPSA. Yeah.
The TPSA, yes, exactly.
But I mean, I just tend to think like, how you see like when it first started, like in March, and luckily my wife was able to go to Florida the very first week of March. She went on a vacation with one of her best friends, and then and my daughter and son-in-law went to Vegas the week after. And a week and a half after that was when they started to shut down things. But when I was at the airport, my wife kept saying, "Don't go in the airport." I go, "Well, I got to find you." I go, "I'll just go in." She goes, "Don't touch anything." And I see them all in the airport washing down stuff and cleaning stuff and leaving stickers saying like, clean by blah, blah, blah on, 2:00 and 3:00. And I see them doing it. And I'm like, wow, good. I hope that they keep this up.
Yeah, I do too. I hope that kind of stuff continues.
I think that's gonna be. And I think a big job now is going to be a janitor. People are going to be like, "Hey, I could clean stuff."
Yeah. Well, I think another good thing too is sort of a new appreciation for the folks that do the work that we need done every single day, right?
Oh, it's
like
amazing.
our grocery workers and stuff like that.
Like if I go to, it's not a shameless plug because I'm not getting anything from them. But I go to Dunkin' Donuts every day to get a coffee, and I thank them. And I say, "Hey, thanks for being out." They go, "Oh, you're welcome." They get shocked by hearing that, but I do appreciate it because they're one of the first ones, front and center. Even though it's a drive-through and the window's there, so they still have to communicate with you and hand you your money or your debit card or what have you. And like you said, grocery people. And it's so funny. Me and my wife always, when we're in line and we're talking to the kids cashier and the bagger, hey, thanks. They go, "Oh, you're welcome." They don't know how to treat it, but we've always been that way.
Yeah.
But now it makes you think more like, Jesus, they're out here. And some of the times they weren't wearing masks. Some of them should have. No.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it took me a second on that one.
There's a 5-second delay. Like I look at everybody out there, like you say, like truck drivers. I felt so sad. Like one truck driver went online. he was saying, like, I really feel appreciated for the first time. I go, no one ever thanked you when you delivered something?
Yeah.
Or even a UPS driver or the mailman. And it's like these, or the mail person. I know, I got to be politically correct. I know. But I mean, I've always appreciated them because I always tell people, like, since some people say, oh, I'm just a salesperson, or I'm just a clerk, or I'm just a cashier. I go, don't say that. I go, because without you, I'd be bringing myself out, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that renewed appreciation will kind of carry forward after this is all over as well. So before we wrap up here, Jerry, I just got to ask you. So nobody can be happy and funny 100% of the time. You must have times when you're kind of feeling low and down in the dumps. What do you do to bring yourself out of that?
If I ever was, which is rare,
Mm.
it's just rare because that's how I am.
Yeah.
People think I'm on something, and I'm not. Well, I am on meds. What am I saying? Yeah. But what I try to do is I just try to think ahead of what I can do, or what I thought was funny, or what I think can be funny, or what I think I could bring to someone to help them. I always try to say, like, even you with your job, you always think ahead to try to see how you can make things better. And I'll try to be the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm like shamelessly promoting myself, which is no big feat.
That's
But like, I'll go do it. But and people say, and I'm not doing it to brag. I'm doing it to tell people, like, you can do something too. You could do this too. You could talk to support groups too. You can go visit someone at a nursing home too. You can go to a senior center and do something.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of a quick story. I was at a senior center or a council on aging, same thing, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so one guy, I got to the door and I was entertaining. I was doing, like, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour. They were all excited. It was packed. There was definitely no social distancing there, although they couldn't move that fast to social distancing. But the one guy come up to me and he goes, "Hey, I'm 82." I go, "Oh." He goes, "You think I look at it?" I go, "No, I thought you were 81." He goes, "You're not funny." I go, "Well, I'm the comedian. It's a bad start." And so he says to me, "Look, I want to ask you a question before you go on stage." I go, "Sure. What's that?" He goes, "Are you going to be filthy?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Oh, shoot." He walked away. I go, "What is this?" But he was like, he wanted me to be dirty, but I didn't have to be dirty. You don't have to be dirty to be funny, but
Yeah.
it was just like a funny thing. Like, they like to laugh too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like the different types of audience, like seniors and veterans and cancer patients and brain injury patients, because they have to laugh. And I'm not catering to anybody. I'm just trying to share my story about my life, and hopefully they have a good time with it.
Yeah.
And 9 chances out of 10, they do. Or I have so much energy, they're like, "Oh, poor guy, just let him finish before he collapses." Because I just put so much into it.
Yeah, I definitely saw that firsthand back in February when
Could you tell?
for us. So it was great. So thanks, Jerry, for joining me today. And I just want to remind folks who are watching that even though I'm working remotely, I'm still available to assist residents with connecting with services. So you can reach me at 978-770-7687. So again, thanks, Jerry, for taking time on
You're
your
welcome.
day.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully people had a couple of laughs watching this.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And
You did anyway. So
it was a lot of fun. Yeah, definitely.
You did it.